I grew up here in this community, which is bordering Kibale Forest National Park. What is amazing in my life, my first day started in the forest. I was born in the forest. That's where the labor pine caught my mother. She was there for firewood. And when it was time to give me a name, I was called Kemgisa, which means lucky. I was lucky enough to survive.
Margaret Kimagisa is the first person we ever met. We were two kids, showed up in the forest.
It was a special day. I was wandering around the forest and I find these beautiful people lying on the ground. I just thought they were tourists, but finally they told me, oh, we are researchers in Kibale Forest.
Everyone was out in the field and we were lost, and she just appeared like an angel and was like, hi, you guys look like you need some help.
And I kept following them up because they were young, smart, and energetic. And here we are together working as a team for New Nature Foundation project.
So we've been driving all day on our way from Entebbe to Kibale National Park, and it's taken 5 hours before we hit any natural forest, and it was beautiful. And
I don't think it's a coincidence. If you look right over here at all the charcoal for sale, this is the biggest charcoal market we've seen of the day as well, right after the first bit of natural forest.
so that's where that forest is going. It's turning into charcoal so that people can cook their food. Thank you.
These are berries from Algeria, the tree you are seeing here, and this is what chimps are eating right now. They prefer fruits more than any other stuff because fruits have sugars. They like a lot of energy and they do a lot of work because in a day chimps can move 7 to 12 kilometers.
In Kibale, we have the densest population of primates in the world. Chimpanzees are the stars, and that's what the tourists all come here for. But there's 11 other species of primates bouncing around, even 3 nocturnal primates hanging out all night long. One of the species that we're protecting when we protect Kibale, though, is much lesser known, and that's the Ugandan red colobus, or the ashy red colobus.
This is the one, and it's found in Kibale National Park, and it can be clearly identified.
There's red colobus species across Africa. There's actually 18 different species of them across Africa. And this one, the ashy red colobus, the last viable population of this species is right here in Kibale. So if we lose this forest, we lose that species forever. New Nature Foundation officially got its start in 2009, but of course we've had our start here since 2000 as students.
We saw in the first trip what we felt was a community of people and a community of researchers living completely separate lives.
Folks are told the forest is for the tourists, the forest is for the researchers, stay out. And that's ridiculous, because how are you going to gain a love for this natural spot, you know, where we're here in Kibale now, and it's just amazing. Every square inch is full of life, and we love that because we came here, because we experienced it.
Hello.
So for 23, 24 years, we've been loving this place, working for it, becoming a part of the community.
Margaret is our project manager.
We made this stove yesterday and we left it stay overnight. New Nature Foundation has impacted the community that are bordering Kibale Forest National Park in various ways. They have educated families to make their own energy-saving stove so that they can use as little firewood as possible.
Our traditional stove used to take more firewood than this one. But this one, let me say about 15 kilograms of firewood. You can use that 15 kilograms for about a month. But for the old stove, you can use it for 3 days or 4.
The stoves that we build are made from local materials and are very easily replicable and completely affordable by the community.
It took me 1 hour to make my stove.
We're teaching folks how to build these
We're
stoves
not
for
using
themselves.
cement, we're using mud.
I love the stove so much.
We're using dung. We're using free materials that you don't need any money to build. You can buy bricks if you want.
Yeah, you can buy bricks or you can make your own bricks. The rocket stove design was developed in the 60s. It's a very simple idea, just a rocket elbow, and that changes the flow of air through the stove, which changes the way the fire burns. It means it burns a little bit hotter, and that cooks your food quicker, of course, but it also burns up a lot of the particulate matter in the smoke, which makes it a healthier stove. There's only one place for the air to get in and one place for the heat to come out. So that also makes it much more efficient. So you're still cooking on firewood when you use this stove, but it uses 30 to 50% less.
Stove cooks well, kuchumba kurungi.
Nikachumba kurungi nkasitovu tukainyasonga makara ugakwijiramo amanda gakaijiramo nikachumba kurungi byokule byano sanga bibobire biri byokulya birungi.
Webale kusimu. Webale muno.
Yeah, boki nayo wabale kutuleta amanda mashyaka.
Thank you.
Thank
you.
Yongera kutuleta amanda gakutukonyera abokuba halo butagena mukisake njura niyo gwankenu nigatuyamba.
Okay.
Ngatuyamba nayo nosemero tokoraranja.
Do you remember this trail? I mean, it's changed a lot.
This is one of the most famous fungus pests.
So fuel-efficient stoves were the first thing we introduced for the project, along with planting trees. There are plenty of species of trees that grow very, very quickly.
Native trees.
Native trees. There's some mangabees, actually, who've just come in to grab some figs. You don't need to be cutting down a centuries-old tree. Everything is linked, and you can't remove any of it. That took, 100 years just to get this big, and then another 300 years to get this big. There are species that can get up to firewood size in 1 year. And then grow right back again when you cut them. So those are the species that we promote, and there are types of trees that are legumes, just like beans, and they add nitrogen into the soil as they grow. So if you plant one of these species next to your crops, you're growing firewood at the same time as you're fertilizing your crops.
And they don't take up any land.
My late grandfather and other people, like 100 years ago, were living in harmony with the natural resources available on nature. Let's take a look at Kibale forest. The population was well balanced with the resources available. But in the current situation, look, we are so many people.
So New Nature Foundation's #1 goal is to create harmony between people and nature. In Uganda, the #1 threat to Kibale National Park and many, many other forests is just small-scale firewood collection. 95% of the population cooks on either wood or charcoal. And of course that was sustainable for thousands and thousands of years, but once the human population hit a certain point, it was no longer sustainable, and that's when all of the forests outside the national parks just started disappearing, and that's when people started coming into the national parks. Uganda has the 3rd fastest growing human population in the world. So a lot of that is urbanized, and a lot of those folks are using charcoal instead of firewood. So here you have more and more people living in towns and cities that are driving the deforestation, that don't live anywhere near the forest, that don't even see the effect it's having on the forest. We're standing here in front of this centuries-old tree, massive ficus, which is important for chimps, monkeys, birds, elephants. All the different species of the forest are using trees like this for different reasons. This one could be 500, 800 years old. And this type of old-growth hardwoods are also what makes the best charcoal. So these are the targets of the charcoal sellers. You cut one tree like that, and that's work for a month and income for your whole family making charcoal. So it's that intersection between animals getting what they need and people getting what they need.
We decided to produce what we call Ecochar briquettes. We make them entirely out of organic waste. Think farm waste, waste from places like tea estates.
For them, they use wood and the barks are left. We have a good relationship with tea factories because they throw away these barks, but they are used again to make briquettes. So the message is everything can be reused.
Instead of all of that ending up in a landfill or burn pit, we turn it into an affordable, carbon-neutral alternative to charcoal that burns far longer without cutting down the forest.
In fact, it's such a hit that we can't keep up with demand.
This guy here is called David Muhumuza. He has been our customer for a long time. He has been supporting us, buying our Ecochar briquettes.
Our Ecochar, made from waste, burns more efficiently and longer than charcoal that's made from trees.
For the other one, half a sack of that charcoal, it costs 30,000. Now, like this one, I have been buying it at 30,000 also. It takes a week. But for the other one, I used to use like between 4 and 5 in a week. So it would take me a lot of money.
So that means if you are using less, you stay with the money in the pocket.
Yes.
So instead of buying 3 sacks in 2 days, you'll just buy 1 sack for a week. That means you'll save the other balance.
That charcoal which has helped me to stay on this business because it hasn't yet started making a lot of money, but I'm just building it. So this charcoal is really helping me a lot.
Ecochar is a game changer for the people, for the wildlife, for not just Kibale and Uganda, but anywhere around the world that has these same threats. So we very quickly got into education, which had not been one of our initial plans for the project, but we realized you really need to convince people why they would want to do these things. So in 2006, right at the start of the project, we opened up the first Kibale Science Center. And it's the first museum of its kind in the country. There are similar museums at the tourist spots where all the foreigners are coming in and learning. There was never anything like that for the native Ugandan people. There's skeletons and skins and books and all of these things that got us excited about nature when we were kids. And we have people of all ages coming, from little ones who come in just to doodle, up to people in their 70s, 80s, 90s who come in and really study the books. The science centers are maybe one of the most popular parts of the project.
This is what we call a prepared slate.
That's where we get lots of people in to do fun things, and then that's when we stick in, oh, hey, do you have a fuel-efficient stove? Oh, do you want to learn about how to grow firewood at home so you don't have to carry it all the way from the forest? So sticking in those bits of information while they're having fun and learning about their natural heritage.
Science Center started changing my life when I was a little young, as young as 13. Looking at Mike and Baker, Margaret taking pupils that they used to go with school, taking them to Kibale National Park, gave me like, well, maybe one time I'll also be there.
My first time to meet Michael and Baker was in 2000. I was in primary school and I saw the work they are doing. That is fine. I really admired also to be in such a family.
We're so proud of this family that we've created here in New Nature and in Uganda. And even though some staff leave, they leave to do even bigger and better things.
I need to get them there before it's dark. Bashil and Sam both came on those very early trips that we had back in the year 2000. So they toured the forest with us as students, and then they started working at the science centers when they were young adults. And now that they're adults and they have families, Bashil is making very good money working in the park. He has a political career outside of the park. He has great aspirations, both educationally and politically.
Little did I know that a day will come, I will be an employee of the Kibale Science Center. So working has changed a lot in terms of everything. And not to brag around, I mean, some young people, I'm their inspiration because of what I'm doing, of what I am, and of where I'm likely to go. In many ways, school, reading, and even the knowledge I have in nature, it's the work of Kibale Science Center.
Sam, who has grown, from a kid walking through the forest with us to then a student intern at the Science Center, he's now managing all 5 of our science centers and helping spread the message across the entire area while growing his family and supporting his whole extended family.
The work that Kibale Science Center is doing has a great impact to the ecosystem. They are telling people to live in harmony with the forest, and not only with the forest, but also with the animals that are living in the forest. And doing that, lives of trees and animals are spared. For example, if people are using Ecochar briquettes made out here at Kibale Science Center, they are not going to cut down trees. That means trees that provide food to other animals are going to be spared, and you shall see a multiplication. And when kids come here at Kibale Science Center and learn about conservation, they are going back to their homes and tell their friends and maybe their mommies, their daddies, that there is a very need of protecting the environment. In doing this, we are sparing the lives of other animals that we need in future.
Our science center just allows every person to come and learn for free. No charges, we don't charge anything. Also, science centers, we have competitions at the end of the year.
Once a year, we gather people together in conservation competitions. We have Ugandans teaching other Ugandans about the environment, about the stoves, about the briquettes, through traditional song and dance and celebrations. So it might be a tune that's hundreds of years old, the traditional Batoro dancing, but they put new words on it, talking about the forest and animals and conservation and the science centers and the briquettes.
We want to instill the idea that we're not teaching you something, you're teaching us. You're teaching your community. Old people still remember that you used to honor this animal or that, but it's getting lost.
And so that's what New Nature Foundation pushes for, those solutions that just a couple of kids from Philadelphia and a community of like-minded people can accomplish.
There's hope. My hope for New Nature Foundation project expanding the other national parks and sharing the knowledge that we are already having for Kibale. When I look at this forest, it is going to bring a lot of happiness, especially from the parenthood of the chimpanzees. The winds that it brings. Hear the birds. Listen to the waves of the trees. Feel them. It's beautiful. Kibale.